Luchani, Magwande.
Welcome to it.
It's episode 2.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, man. And there's been a crazy amount of sports that's been happening. But we can recap, or we can just go straight ahead, dive into it.
Let's go into it. Before we go into it, though, this particular episode I'm pretty excited about. We have a special guest from the fitness industry, Winfred Masinga from Black Fitness.
Dope.
So you know, the people have been saying that they want specific people to talk about things.
Yeah.
So we're lucky enough to have him with us in studio today. So are we interested to know how the business of fitness and how that's going to be? So I'm looking forward to it. But
yeah, I also have some spicy questions regarding the fitness business, because hey, our fitness pani papaya.
no, to be interesting, but
it's
something I'm excited about, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy that part of the show. But before we get there, speaking about fitness, there's something that you've just shared with me recently about Sundowns and something to do with
the fitness industry. Yeah, man, that brand is literally going leaps and bounds. So they had a collaboration with Herbalife, which was well publicized last year sometime.
Yeah.
So they're now like their fitness
partners.
Yeah, supplement providers.
Okay.
And yesterday or 2 days back, somewhere along those lines, just forgot, they had a giveaway for their fans, which included like a lifestyle sort of competition.
Okay.
So they collaborated with NutriBullet, which is like the shake maker, yeah. And Herbalife, and then a fitness specialist. So you had to go to their social media page, Instagram specifically. You tag your fitness partner or your gym partner. You go on their magazine. You look at those exercises. You do them with your partner. You tag them, and on the Sundowns page, and you can win Herbalife supplements and the NutriBullet actual shake maker.
But what's interesting for me is that, especially in football, that opportunity hasn't been, lifestyle and supplements hasn't been a big thing. What do you think NutriBullet saw in Sundowns in particular as a sponsor? Where do you see the similarities or opportunities for them as a brand?
I think it's more about popularity, because you look at the Sundowns brand right now, it's a very popular brand, and they were looking at the numbers they could pull.
Okay. So,
and then in terms of the opportunity, I think they're just trying, not necessarily rebrand, but they're just trying to position themselves ahead of the pack, and that is Sundowns now. I'm not talking NutriBullet, I'm not talking Herbalife. They are trying to position themselves ahead of the pack in the football world, where they are encouraging their fans or followers to live a certain lifestyle, be healthy, take care of themselves.
Okay, because if the reason I ask is because there's this assumption that the football audience, especially in this country, is not that sophisticated. If you want to put it in those words. So, a Sundowns having that kind of partnership is something that is quite interesting for me.
Yeah, I think it's more like they're creating a winner's mindset, because they want not only the on-field team to be winners, but even their followers to be winners. And winning can come in different ways. It can come in ways of how you live, how you take care of yourself.
Sure.
The team you follow is winners, and just generally your mindset is like, yeah, man, we're going for it, punching hard. So I think there's a lot to learn from it, not only from a sports sort of perspective, but generally for the population of SA. As you know, obesity is one of our biggest problems.
Yeah.
So we can start looking at how something we love, we follow by all our hearts, is trying to encourage us to take care of ourselves.
So it's also looking at health and sustainability and those things.
Exactly.
So something we can look out for, and it's a story that we can follow.
Yeah, guys, also get in the comments. Let us know what you think. I don't know. I feel like it's because I already, and I don't want to personalize it. But
don't personalize things.
No, but I already feel like it's a great avenue they took. I just want to find out from our people what they think. Would they take it up? Would they want their teams to look at something like that?
No, but I think the most interesting thing for me is that Sundowns is now having a continental footprint, so that might be an opportunity.
Yeah, and also it might also not only encourage specifically the fans in this area, like you say, that whole continental sort of feel. So it's more like, they're very forward thinking.
Yeah,
They're very forward thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was what caught our eye this week. So let's get into it,
Yeah, let's jump into the one that matters the most. Guys, we'll introduce our guest and let's take it from there. Let's hear from you how you feel about sports fitness, and we'll let Winfred guide us through how it goes.
Sure. As promised, we've got our guest with us, Winfred Masinga from Black Fitness. I'm excited about this one because it's our first guest in the fitness industry. So just to introduce him, he's someone who's been in the business for a very long time. But you can take us through your journey, and just let us know how you got into the fitness industry.
Okay, thanks for having me, guys.
Sure.
It's awesome. So yes, it was quite a journey. I mean, I played sport my whole life, as long as I've known. Primary school all the way up. Varsity, I got an opportunity. Well, before varsity, I was given an opportunity to play for South Africa, like the little guys, the junior teams. Yeah.
Which
Football.
sporting code?
Football,
Okay.
soccer. Well,
Okay,
soccer,
sure.
whichever, I don't know. But due to having such strict parents, I was told to kind of focus on my studies.
Yeah.
But I always knew I wanted to be in the sporting field,
Okay.
which was pretty awesome. Varsity, I ended up playing rugby, soccer, but because of what I studied, I had to go and do practical hours, work-wise. Ended up at the gym.
Sure.
But I knew I always had to help people.
Yeah.
Right? How I did it, well, that was gonna come later.
Yeah.
And eventually, doing my practical hours, the guys offered me a position.
Sure.
And I was like, well, let's see how it goes. I've got bigger visions of where I want to be, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
And since I've been there, qualified in like 2009
Yeah.
as a personal trainer,
Okay.
and I just ran with it since then.
But now, let's take a step back, right?
Yes,
So, you were playing sport,
I was playing sports.
but
yes.
what made you want to take it up as a career? What made you think, okay, I can do this thing for a long time, and it can be sustainable,
Well, the thing is, when you're young, what do you know about sustainability, right?
Yeah.
You got your parents and everyone supporting you, so you're like, you know what, I'll do it what I can. You watch the football players overseas, and you're like, listen, I want to go there. I want to have an opportunity, and that's where the goal was.
Yeah.
Pushed, ran for that, and obviously me having been selected for, it was trials,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
But that opportunity itself told me that, listen, I can actually make it.
You're good enough.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. Well, I didn't get to even try. But just the acknowledgement of saying, listen, we want you at that point
Yeah.
was great.
Okay.
And I just knew, like, listen, I have to get into this industry, this field. I did lie to my parents about what I was studying.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I went to do like a BCom general, you know, just to say, listen, I am studying, I'm doing this. But I knew that the BCom general would allow me to get into business.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? And what better way to get into sports than to get into the business of sports?
Sure.
So, I did my sports conditioning not license, but certificate as well.
Yeah.
So whatever I did, I tried to get as much as possible into the fitness industry and sports industry, because my ultimate goal was to help support and provide for the young generation going into that industry, going to play sports, going to get their fitness levels up, and so.
Now you're at the right place, because we're really big on the business of sports. That's the whole purpose of this podcast. So my main question is, as you are now in that business, in this country, do you think there is a niche for it? Can it also grow into being mainstream, or will it always be overlooked?
Well, if you currently look at fitness itself, fitness is right now the biggest growing industry in the worldwide. I heard you guys talking about the Herbalife and Sundowns thing, which that was a full-on business transaction, right? Yeah. But they can see what's happening, because fitness is going everywhere, right? No matter what you do, you need to look at your fitness. And I personally look at fitness as a holistic thing. Yeah. So there's different elements of it, and the business of sport right now in our country has very, very big room for growth.
Sure.
Massive room for growth, because we're not at the same level as any of our international counterparts, right? There's still so much we need to look at. And for us right now, we're just looking at people getting onto, for example, I'll use soccer. You're looking at getting onto the soccer field, training for those few hours, and then carrying on with their lives. We have, I think now it's getting a lot better, but before we had a lot of football players that would be playing, but they still have other job or other hustle or something on the side.
Yeah, it was like they weren't really professional.
Exactly, right? But then when you take it to a different stage or a different level, right? These guys have academies. These guys have specific sources and places, right? And that's where my thinking was, because that's what I'm looking at, and I'm saying, okay, fine, if I can get an academy, take them when they're young, as they do them internationally, right? And take them when they're young. So you provide nutrition, you provide
work on the nutrition, work on the fitness,
exactly, and then
recovery,
you've got specific things. But at the same time, it's still a school, because it's an academy. It's still a school that people can still focus and push their skills.
Education and whatnot.
I mean, we've had so many times where football players come into the industry, and then once they're done playing, and we know football age very well, right? Right? So once you finish playing, what happens? Some of our premium guys have fallen off, and we don't know where they've gone to, or they're struggling. So that's the whole thing. So you still have your school, you still have your football, you still have your different disciplines that we're looking at, but it's still a growing thing. And from there, afterwards, even after you've left your sports discipline, you can still focus and push a business and still carry on and sustain yourself in the industry. So
Can I be controversial? So there's this narrative that in general, black people are athletic. We're born athletic, just in different codes. Do you think by the lack of taking care of our nutrition, genetically it's slowly waning, or we need to just, like you say, rejig our mindset, look at nutrition and fitness holistically, and we can find ourselves at the peak of our athleticism?
I do agree. So I've looked into this quite a bit as well, because when we're growing up, I mean, I'm sure we all grew up relatively similar, is you grow up with a certain eating standard at home. Right? You eat what they make for you. Right? Yeah. Whereas now when we now look at this, and I always, I've been trying to do this with a lot of my people right now that I train, and say, so I'm going to use the generic term that everyone's using now, is we're the woke generation. Right? We are, right? And it's up to us now to change that narrative, because when we're growing up, it's like, cool, this is what you're eating, right? You go to school, you run, you do whatever the case is. And yes, in a certain sense, as black people, we generally are a lot fitter, a lot more active, based on what we previously went through or encountered or experienced, whereas would walk, would cycle, would run, would do everything in that manner, right? And it allows us to be that way. But what did pull us back was the eating standards, the eating habits, because you eat just the standard. Not entirely wrong, because end of the day is we are very agricultural. So we've got a lot of stuff that we grow in our own backgrounds, which is a lot healthier than the stuff we're going to be buying all the time.
The processed stuff.
Exactly. So when you have that moment, then that's when you say, okay, fine. If I continue eating this way, but I just eat it correctly or break it down correctly, it actually enhances and advances it. And then that's where you find that most black people never necessarily went to an academy or never necessarily had a sports specific kind of training. It was just more, I do what I do and it comes naturally, right? Or it's not a full natural thing, but because you're constantly walking, constantly running, constantly out and about with friends, it automatically helps you and gives you a bit of an extra advantage. But I mean, listen, it's changed now. Things have changed, and everyone is now focused on something, or everyone's particular with something, and you've got sports specific schools, you've got certain schools right now that, say for example, big rugby schools, right, and they push and get their kids involved in that, and they make sure they focus on those kind of things. So it can be very controversial, but at the same time it's all about looking back to where it all started.
So now, I'm hearing you speak about nutrition and sport. You can tell this from an informed point of view, you understand? So what I'm getting to is that, especially in social media, you get these Fitfluencers and people who haven't necessarily gotten the expertise to guide someone, right? So social media is quite aesthetic. So maybe the person looks good physically, they've done their transformation, right? 25 days, what, you understand? So someone will look at that and say, okay, I want to look like that. But when you look at some of the advice and tips that they give people. Sometimes they misinform people, and then people follow that, and then they get injuries. They don't eat well.
Yeah.
Then they fall off. So, what's your take on people who are approaching fitness from an educated point of view versus, I could say, people who are winging it, you know, who are taking advantage of, maybe I've got a supplement sponsorship because I look good.
Mm-hmm.
But when I put it out there, it's like, no, I'm so well versed in training and the gym and what you need to eat and all of this.
Yeah.
But what I eat is what a sponsor gives me. So I'm misinforming my audience.
Yeah.
What's your take on that tension?
Well, listen, that is a very, very touchy topic, especially in our field, in our industry, because yes, the guys are there, but you're looking at someone who's, for example, genetically advanced, you know, or they've got great genes from whatever, and now they look good. So
their metabolism breaks things faster
exactly.
than the next person.
Exactly. So it's very touch and go, especially with our industry. And I'm not going to say we hate them, but you know, like we tend to avoid them. Reason is because you're really putting in the work and you're trying to push. For example, I'm trying to push my people, my clients to a certain level, but now they're seeing that. But social media is showing me this, right? Yeah. Social media is a front. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we all know that. Social media will show you the best of everything. Yeah. Right. So what I did recently was I said, okay, fine. Everyone is, I'm sure people doing great, doing well, and that's a good thing. It's a good motivator. But you don't know what happens behind the scenes.
Sure.
Right? You don't know how long this person has had to push. You don't know how long this person has had to struggle, right? I personally know people who post only the great stuff that they have. Yeah. But I've seen the negatives that they do behind the scenes. Yeah. Right? Yeah. No, I mean, like, literally negatives to get to that point. Yeah. But then you're going to push a certain supplement brand to say, no, this is what's working for me.
And that's a paid partnership on top of that.
Exactly. Right? But now they need to do that in order to keep that sponsorship.
Yeah, make money. Yeah.
But the stuff they're doing behind the scene has got nothing to do with that actual sponsorship or supplementation. Yeah. But because they're getting a deal or sponsorship or some monetary benefit from it, so you have to make it look that good.
Yes.
Okay. And the same thing is that it's that misrepresentation or showing someone that, listen, this is how it works, this is what happens, but then behind the scenes you're not even taking it yourself. Yeah. So we find it very, very challenging, very difficult, because now we've got clients that come to us and say, yeah, well, listen, I want to look like this person because this is what they take. And when you try and break it down, then they start getting demotivated and they feel like, no, it's wrong. And now either they're going to badmouth that certain supplementation or feel like this person is a wrong person for them to follow. But at the same time, is remember, as I said, fitness is such a massive industry right now. It's quickly growing, and if you've got a great physique, if you've been naturally gifted or talented, then you're like, you know what, I can actually do a couple of pull-ups and I'll look great and I'll look good.
and sell it on social media.
That's the thing.
So, can I add part of this, expand on this question? So do you think, to a certain extent, social media hampers the fitness industry, or it enhances it, or is it based on the context? And when I say context, I mean like what you're saying is who's putting in the hard yards, who's just selling a product. I'm just trying to understand how social media is impacting your industry.
A bit of both. A bit of both, definitely a bit of both, because it enhances it because everyone wants to be at that level, right? But it hampers it because now everyone's like, yeah, but I can't look like that anymore. I can't, you know, or I've been training for 3 months and I'm still not there. Whereas this person's got a 12-week challenge and they look amazing, right? But what happens in those 12 weeks is what people don't realize. And I keep telling my people, I tell them, okay, fine, you guys want to train. You've got how many hours in a day, right? I see you for 45 to an hour, 45 minutes to 60 minutes in a day, right? Break that into a week. I see people mainly twice a week, which means I see you 2 times for 2 hours for your entire week.
80-hour week or whatever.
Exactly, right? What do you do in between that? Sure. And yes, it's all good and well. So what people need to realize that the social media aspect, right, is what do they call us normally 3-rep heroes. I'll show you 3 of my best, right? And I post it. And you're like, wow, this person's amazing, great form, great execution, right? But behind that, I'm dripping, I'm sweating, I'm huffing and puffing, but I need to look good for that moment, right? Because social media gives you a certain duration, up to 60 minutes or whatever the case is. You're not going to see a full workout, right? But come for a full workout, and then we talk, right? And that's where it becomes a challenge, because now people realize, like, you know what, I can't do 60 minutes of this. Okay, not twice a week is okay. I can manage twice a week. But now, when you want to start posting, you want to start pushing, you're like, okay, fine, what's next?
Yeah.
And so it's all about breaking everything down. It's about eating that elephant.
But
Cool,
now
man.
it's so interesting to look at the social media part of things, right? Because you recently started your business, right?
Yeah.
And there was the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
So how did social media help or hinder your business
Well, that's
in the COVID times?
Listen, that
especially
was,
in the hard
yeah.
lockdown?
Listen, during the hard lockdown, everyone had like a mental block and things were going very tough, right? But hence I was saying that social media can promote and hinder it, right? Based on what you do and what you put onto it, right? So what I did is I started doing wellness talks. I started doing 30-minute training sessions, but I would do the training sessions with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that if I'm dying, you can see me dying with you.
Okay.
So you know that you're not, we're all human. Everyone's human. Everyone has a little push. Everyone can get to a
Yeah.
certain place, right? And you start seeing it from there.
Yeah.
And it was good because it actually helped me. It helped me pick up more clients. It helped me push and promote my business. I started my brand during the hardest lockdown, you know,
Sure.
and it picked up. And it's because I literally made myself vulnerable, which is something I've never done.
Sure.
And I put myself onto a social media platform and said, you know what, I'm going to do this because everyone's going through the most. Everyone's going through the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Must show that even myself as a fitness professional,
You're
it
also
happens
part
to
of
me
it.
as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it definitely helped me out that way.
Okay. But now lastly, that we everything has changed since the pandemic.
Yeah.
All businesses. So how do you see the fitness industry of the future, especially in South Africa, from grassroots to professional? You know, because you spoke about you want to influence from young people to professional sportsmen. So, and you said that the industry here is quite raw and is full of potential. So, how do you envision it in the future?
Well, listen, definitely it's massive, massive potential, massive growth, and I would like to be part of that.
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm doing now is trying to build me up into that platform. So, and it'll go back to what I was saying about us being the woke generation, right? It's what we put out there. It's all good and well that these Fitfluencers are jumping on board and everything, but come to a point where you have to lay it down and say, okay, fine, what do you see things happening? Where do you see it? How can you take what the fitness industry has and push it forward? And then we get to the nitty-gritties and behind the scenes. It's what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
It's good to bring to the table a great body and 5-6 push-ups, right?
Yeah.
But can you go into it? Can you break it down to the calorie deficiency, you know, the eating of the different macros, you know, what do you put there? How are you going to put together a program for a primary school kid,
Yeah.
a high school kid, and a university person?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just getting all of that involved, and yeah, I think that's once you do that, it becomes massive.
Sure.
Yeah, man. Nah, cool. Thank you very much for coming through. And for, I think you gave us some gems, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed that episode, and you'll see us again on episode 3. Thanks. Cheers.